the media. In an effort to get a bit more in depth about my videos, I'm going to address the subject of the media. You see, in numerous videos I have said, I don't blame the media. Now I know you're thinking that I must be crazy or an idiot because it's clear that the media is biased and can censor information and cause people to react in pure fear. You're right, the media does do all that, but haven't you ever wondered who controls the media? Like YouTube, for instance. Google owns and controls it. So YouTube does whatever Google approves of. Simple. Haven't you ever looked at those newscasts and the anchor men and women all dressed up in suits or nice dresses, full of makeup on their faces? Because image is everything to the eyes and thus the mind. Everything and everyone must be perfect. Notice that they all talk as well as they can. No slip-ups in their speech if they can help it. Sometimes I wonder if one of them farts, how do they all keep a straight face? Especially if it's one of those really shitty smelling farts, you know? But yeah, you're not looking at the news. You're looking at a presentation of heavily edited information. Remember that you can get good direction and bad directions if you are lost. Information is no different. There's good and there's bad. These media heads are nothing but employees. So who are their bosses? That's why I don't blame the media. Because those people that you see are just workers. They're trying to survive just like a lot of us. What you see on TV is largely the result of people who own the media. And those people are usually lobbyists. Lobbyists are people who give to political causes of their choosing. They in turn get political favor. Politics, the use of intrigue and strategy in obtaining any position of power or control, as in business, university, etc. Political favor. So if I own a channel, then certain people in power may want to show political coverage about their party, and they want the coverage to be good. Strategy. I say, okay, I'll show you a story and my news people will make sure you and your side look good. But in return, I'm going to need something as well. You know how a ton of us got a job at some point because someone hooked us up, either with information about hiring or just putting in a good word? That never ends. That's how things get done in America. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's always about who you know. And on a deeper level, just who the hell are you and why should I care? Oh, I'm Joe Biden's cousin, or the VP of the company is my brother. Who do you know? Here, let me show you something so real, you can't even deny it. You know those $300 a plate and up dinner functions? Usually, those functions have some people in it with business ties or political aspirations. Let's say it's $500 a plate. Your name in this particular instance is John, and you paid for your plate. You're at the party. Not everyone can afford to be there, not even you. But you figure, fuck it, let me see who's in here. Maybe I can make some connections. After all, these places are where you can introduce yourself to the next up-and-coming senator or the next CEO of an up-and-coming company, etc. You go in, rub some elbows, as they say, get to know these folks over shitty champagne, and depending on how you come across, because behavior and how you speak is super important, these people will remember you. And so you had a really, really good night. Fast forward to years later, after that party, and one day you see the senator of your state and you say, "Hey, Senator so-and-so, how you doing?" The senator looks at you, not with any kind of certainty, but you do look familiar. Then you clarify, "It's me, John. We talked at the function you had a few years ago. We were talking about your house and all that other stuff." Then the senator will know exactly who you are because you paid the money to get to be in his presence. You spoke and introduced yourself. And since you know the art of conversation, you learned about him and he learned about you. And you can tell people that you casually know the senator of your state. The senator even gave you the number of his lawyer because why not? You came to his function years ago and put $500 in his pocket. You earned that little hookup as well as a moment of his personal time, maybe more if he liked your convo. The senator knows who John is. Do you think that the senator knows the names of the people who actually voted for him? Does he even know your faces? Unless he looks up that information? No, he doesn't. And that is why large businesses, people who own the media, aka media moguls, and everyone else who has money or connections, run this country. This is a capitalistic government, and all it cares about is money. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you will know how to properly move. Your votes are just political theater. The whole voting thing is just a way to govern over 300 million Americans. Get you all fighting each other. Strategy. You think I'm bullshitting when I say your voting is political theater. But how many times has your politician lied to you? I mean, at this point, it's laughable. It's the same shit. They get you upset at the other guy, promise you shit, then get in office and don't do but half or 3/4 of the stuff they said they would do. And whatever they can't get done, it's the other side's fault. Meanwhile, the truth is, all of these politicians know each other. Some are good friends. Some are real good friends who went to the same freaky island together. How about this? Remember when during the presidential campaign, Joe Biden said that he would go after the Prince of Saudi Arabia because that prince was allegedly responsible for the death and dismemberment of a Saudi journalist? Then the minute he became president, Joe Biden backtracked, said he is not going to impose any sanctions on Saudi Arabia or the prince, fearing a breach in relations, meaning that the US doesn't want to mess up its relationship with Saudi Arabia. The reason is simple. This is a capitalistic government. The people in suits, the politicians, they are worker bees who work for the large companies that actually run the government. And those large companies do not want their money being fucked up in any way, shape, or form. And Arabia is money. Look, there's even a song called Arab Money, just in case you ain't figure it out. And this is a Saudi prince, which means at some point he's going to be an old Saudi king. An American politician isn't going to mess that up. They are commanded not to mess that up. But what a politician will do is tell you voters what you want to hear. But as you can plainly see, the people with money get told the truth. Biden said publicly, no sanctions will be enacted against the Saudi prince. That's the damn truth. But he lied to the voters. So in case you haven't figured it out, a lobbyist is what you should aspire to be. And you can do it. All you gotta do is start saving your money and start going to the right functions and get-togethers versus parties. Get to know the right people. So-called black folks, if we want to turn things around, then we gotta start talking with our money. But politically, strategy. You understand? People died for the right to vote. No, people died for the right to be heard. During the civil rights era, if voting worked, then there would be no need to march and take ass whippings. It's not voting that matters. It's influence and how much you use that influence to affect people. Martin Luther King was a problem because he was talking about boycotting shit. That's a problem. You're fucking up people's money. You can't do that shit. This government is capitalistic and proudly so. It's about how your influence affects money. Everything changes. Time marches on. The old ways, they become refined. Getting what you want done in office has changed from voting to lobbying. These men in suits are money-hungry representatives of a government that only cares about its financial bottom line. This is all true. Money is still more important than human lives because Big Pharma charges the government for its, jabs. You can't even say the V word because YouTube will censor you because you're messing up Big Pharma and the government's money. So, how do you beat the media? Ignore it. Don't watch the news. We as human beings have a choice to not look at TV. As a matter of fact, in the year 2020, Hollywood and entertainment itself was shown to be unimportant when it comes to what really matters in our lives. 2020 was supposed to pretty much show everyone what really matters. And Hollywood was shown to be an afterthought. Entertainers meant less than nothing. You saw it and I saw it, and it was a beautiful damn thing. I don't blame the media because you don't have to watch it. The only agenda that you can literally force down someone's throat as a human being is one conducted by the nation's own military with their guns in your face. If there are laws in place that benefit some but not everyone else, then it's up to the people to get rid of those laws for the greater good of society. But I cannot in good conscience blame a TV or blame a smart device for taking over my thoughts if I'm the one that is allowing it to happen. Now keep in mind, the media is smart. They will put out attention-grabbing headlines, usually ones to make you fear something, but you gotta stay vigilant. Busy yourself with your life. Because as long as you continue to watch the stories and lives of other people, then you become a part of their story. Sure, we're all connected and affect one another, but we are also unique individuals by birthright. No one has your fingerprints. No one has your retina. No one has the same DNA. The world is large enough for all of us to have time to live our lives. The news makes the world seem like a small and dangerous place. And that's why most Americans do not travel to other countries. Only by breaking away and letting people live their lives can you focus on your own life. I don't blame the media because no one is forcing you to watch it. Not yet. You can still filter it off your phones. So exert some control over yourselves. And if you want to make some real change in this country, stop voting, thinking that one person is going to fix it. It has never worked that way. Laws don't mean shit if nobody follows them. It's just scribbled on paper. But if you start putting money toward our children, not these old people that set in their ways and are gatekeepers, then we can see new ideas, new energy, more empathy, more care, instead of listening to the media. Be the people who report about good students, helpful food drives, good performing schools, bad performing schools so we can improve them. Be the people who spread the right news, the real, not fake stories with biased narratives. Go on your own websites where the good news can't be censored. Even if you create a Facebook group, you got to be careful because you and your group do not own Facebook. So they can cut your good news feed or club or group off whenever they want to. Even if they monetize your group, you'd still be in their control over what news you can post. Be free. Own yours. That's the beginning of your political and lobbyist power. Do you understand what I'm saying? Be free. Own yours. That's the beginning of your political and lobbyist power. Each one spread the good news. And by extension, we protect one another without even thinking about it. That is the power of good news. And it's been so long since you've seen it that y'all done forgot what it even looks like. News is nothing but stories. Unless you were there, you don't really know what happened. Get your life together and make some good news happen. And influence people by showing how you helped yourself or other people be better versus what you ate today at this nice restaurant, making people want to kick you in your jaw. Don't monetize the good news because that makes you a gatekeeper. Don't monetize the good knowledge. Don't charge for what's right. So let's summarize this whole thing up with a slogan. Spread the good news. Fuck the bad news. Fuck the news media. Fuck the music industry. Fuck all the gatekeepers, keeping people from knowing positivity. Put that on a shirt, and just like that, you'll be the beginning of influencing good news and free knowledge for the entire society. My man.